Hey, what's up, guys? It's Toast with ToastyTabletopGames, and today I've just got a deck list for you guys since I'm running out of products to open for my pack opening videos. So, this is a mill deck, draw to mill, and the whole idea of this deck is that you want to pick up as many cards as possible in order to trigger Teferi's Tutelage, which will make the opponent mill 2 cards as for each card. So. There's a lot of ways to do that in this deck, which we'll get into. But we'll start from like left to right. So we'll start with Mirror Box. So Mirror Box is a rare from Neon Dynasty that is effectively a reprint of another mirror type card from the older Kamigawa. But basically, the legend rule doesn't apply, and each legendary creature you control gets 1/1, and each non-token creature you control that gets 1/1 for each other creature that has the same name. Right, so that'll help us put down more than one, like I can't say that word, Adamsis. We can put down more than one Gretchen. We can put down more than one Kami of the Crescent Moon, so on and so forth. Right, easy enough. For our enchantments, we've got the Wizard class to let us have no maximum hand size in order to potentially win off of Adamsis's win condition in the effect in the rule text. That being that when it deals damage to the opponent, you can reveal your hand, and if you have at least 6 different converted mana costs revealed that way, that player loses the game, which there should be exactly enough. There should be exactly enough to win that way if you needed to. Wizard class will let us do that by having as many cards in our hand as possible, and not only that, but lets us draw cards, and then even better, at level 3, lets us put 1/1 counters down on our own creatures for every card, every time we draw a card, which is going to be very easy, as I have already said. Teferi's Tutelage is the main win con for this, as in you're hopefully having the opponent mill out their entire deck by the time you're done with it, right? Not too much to be said there. And then we got Behold the Unspeakable. This is mainly for the flip side of it, and as another way to win if none of those other things are working. But we'll go through all the steps. So at Chapter 1, creatures you don't control get -2/0 until the next turn. At Chapter 2, if you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, you draw 4. Otherwise, scry 2, draw 2, which is not bad at all. And then at Chapter 3, it flips over, and it becomes Visions of the Unspeakable, which has Flying Trample, and it gets 1/1 for each card in your hand, which will be super, super, super easy, as I've already said. For our instance here, we've got Behold the Multiverse, which is just a scry 2, draw 2, which can be foretold and cast later at pretty much half the price, which is great. Because it helps us with our win condition. It helps us get cards for Adamsis. It helps us make Behold the Unspeakable bigger, so on and so forth. And we've got Cancel, because it's just a great counterspell, and running counterspells is never a bad idea. For our lands, we're not doing anything special. We're just doing basic lands. However, feel free to change that at your own discretion. I didn't feel a need to do that, but there are probably better lands to run than that, for sure. I tried to make this as budget as possible, so I didn't feel the need to really include anything crazy for lands. For our sorceries, we have Ancestral Vision, which is like a poor man's Ancestral Recall and is actually legal. But yeah, basically you're just paying 1, and it will be suspended for 4 turns in exile. And then once it has no more counters, it's cast and you draw 3 cards. So it's cheap and you draw 3 cards, but the wait time on it is kind of a big drawback. So there could be something better to play in that instead of that. But like I said, feel free to change things out as you see fit. So we've already kind of talked about Adamsis, but Adamsis is a 6-drop 4/5 flyer who can draw 2 cards and discard a card by paying 3 and tapping. And then we've already kind of discussed it. It was a win con, but I'll reiterate. So as long as you have an extra copy of Adamsis, you have Cavalier Gaels, you have where's the 4 one? Oh yeah, you have Behold the Multiverse, Cancel, Teferi's Tutelage, or any other 3-drop, 2-drop, so on. As long as you have pretty much one of every cost, you win the game after you attack for that round. So, I mean, you could, in theory, probably optimize this better to make that the main win condition aside Teferi's Tutelage. But I think the way this is, that's not really what we're going for. That's just kind of another way to win if Teferi's Tutelage isn't quite working out. Moving on, we got Cavalier Gaels, and it's a 5/5 for 5. And when it enters the battlefield, you draw 3, and then put 2 from your hand on top of your library in any order. And when it dies, it just shuffles back into the library, and then we'll let you scry 2. So it's not even, you play it, you get draw power, you get a powerful creature, and it comes back every time that it dies. So, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Next, we got Gretchen Twitch Willow. Just a 0/4 for 2, so, big defender, and can tap, not tap, you can pay 4 to draw a card and put a land from your hand on the battlefield. So it can kind of ramp, but also it kind of furthers the win con with Teferi's Tutelage. Next, we have the Kami of the Crescent Moon, which at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card, which, yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a group hug card, but that's not really a big deal, They're not going to have a whole ton to pick up by the time you're through with them. So just because you're picking up an extra card or 2 at the beginning of your draw step is kind of huge, just because they have to mill double at pretty much, And finally, our last creature is Teferi's Protege, which is just a 3-drop for a 3-drop that pay 2, tap and draw a card, discard a card, which is always good. Probably the weakest of all the creatures in here, so that could be substituted with something. But I thought having a way to consistently draw cards cheaply was kind of important for this deck. But that's kind of the whole deck. I play tested it just a little bit. It does what it needs to do, right? It does exactly what it needs to do. But I have noticed there's a little bit of inconsistency with getting Teferi's Tutelage, kind of, as one would probably imagine. You're not gonna get it all the time, but once you get it, that's kind of it. So. But yeah, that's kind of it. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and check me out on my socials at ToastyTabletopGames on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. Remember that at 25 subscribers, I'll be opening a Kamigawa Neon Dynasty entire set booster box on YouTube. Whether it live or not doesn't really matter, but I will be opening it at 25 subscribers. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see that. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.